The tanks are some of the most consistent brawlers at the higher tiers of the meta. They're also my favorite brawlers in the game. So in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every tank from worst to best based on their place in the meta and a bit of my opinion. Anyways, at number 13 is BB. BB is probably the most forgotten tank in terms of the meta, and her playstyle is just really flawed. In a meta filled with high damaging brawlers that have a good amount of range, she can't really approach a lot. I think she can be really good with the right team, but she sucks to play aggressively, which shouldn't be the case for any tank. At number 12 is Rosa. Rosa recently got a small damage buff that didn't really do much to help her. She's still very weak and she feels a lot like Crow with the assassins. Outdated, outclassed, and doesn't deal enough damage to be good these days. Her hypercharge is still very strong, but she's getting carried by it. At number 11 is Meg. I feel the fall off of Meg needs to be studied. She was honestly so strong and unstoppable a few months ago, but she's falling off the meta, and I don't think her hypercharge can really help her. She probably doesn't need another rework, but if the devs paid attention to more mediocre brawlers like Meg, with a few buffs she'd be fine. At number 10 is El Primo. He's one of the oldest tanks in the game, so he's also the most outdated. These days it's a lot harder to pull off a match with El Primo since he easily gets countered, especially while drafting. But unlike Meg or BB, El Primo might stay in this position for a long time. At number 9 is Jackie. I honestly feel the developers have personal beef with this brawler. If you watch the last Brawl Talk, Doug and RT got some serious additions to their kits, especially Doug. These two brawlers have similar circle attacks like Jackie, and they've just become really good alternatives. The second brawler coming to the game, Trunk, is also a tank with a circle attack, and I feel he's going to be overpowered. So from what I'm seeing, Jackie is slowly getting replaced by other brawlers today. Still, I feel Jackie is one of the fastest and more uncontrollable brawlers amongst the tanks, which make her a pain to deal with if you don't have anyone to counter. At number 8 is Frank. Frank is still very good, even though it's been quite some time since he got that rework. Tanks are really good in the meta, and the only brawlers after Frank happen to be completely broken. At number 7 is Draco. Draco hasn't been good in a while, but I have hopes for his hypercharge. It's not the best out of the new ones, but it's honestly better than nothing. Still, we can only wait for the hypercharge releases to see where he goes in the meta. At number 6 is Ash. Ash is really good at taking damage and using it to his advantage. He's been consistently making the high tiers of the meta lately, and it's been really good for him. To be fair, he's not the easiest tank to play, but he's pretty fun. At number 5 is Daryl, but he's pretty much equal to Ash. Daryl works really well with support brawlers, and he's been able to take advantage of his rework and his hypercharge to get a ton of kills. He's still one of the best brawlers in the game, and I feel he'll be in this position for a long time. At number 4 is Hank. Hank is surprisingly still strong after the brutal nerf to his hypercharge. Still, he's widely regarded as one of, if not the best tank in the game. This is where I'd keep the upcoming brawler Trunk. Trunk is pretty interesting. They're a mixture of Ash and Jackie, and their super is a lot like Daryl and Barry's mixed together. They're definitely going to be OP, but I feel like most players wouldn't know that because they aren't really going to be the most fun or brain dead brawler. At number 3 is actually going to be Ollie. Ollie is probably one of the most impressive brawlers in the game. He's been at the top of the meta for months without getting a hypercharge, which is definitely concerning. Similar to Lumi, I feel he won't leave the top spots once he finally gets that hypercharge. At number 2 is Buster. Buster is one of the best tanks in the game. As my personal favorite brawler, he's the most fun brawler in my opinion. His support nature helps him work as a good defensive brawler, then he easily shreds the enemy team after getting his really strong hypercharge. Although he's not the best tank in the game, or at least not anymore, because at number 1 is Bull. Bull has been gifted with an incredible rework to his very underwhelming kit. During the Brawl Talk, a lot of Bull mains were quite disappointed by the Bull rework, including me, but a good amount of changes were reverted, and Bull is probably the best brawler in the game. So I'm glad I got him to 1000 trophies before people call him no skill. Anyways, that was every tank ranked from worst to best. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.